Good morning, everyone. Snowcase, how's the laundry doing? How do you hear that? Wow. MC Sports Lover, hey, what's going on? Anthony Drew, good afternoon. GameStop and Loopring. Thank you guys for joining us. So, this should be an exciting live stream of a lot to talk about, and I hope this can really help some of you. Kind of, get some sort of insight in how, with deep data-backed analytics and some useful indicators, we can play calls even on manipulated stocks, as you guys like to call it, make great money, and continue to add free shares to our position. So, someone says there's an echo. If there is an echo, can any of you guys just confirm that with me? If there is a big enough echo, then I can close the stream and try to figure out what's going on before I continue. So just let me know in the comments if you guys also hear an echo. No echo. All right, perfect. All right, let's get into it, everyone. So before earnings, first of all, just one more time, thank you everyone for joining. I hope that the stream will really be eye-opening for you guys, and we'll all be able to learn together. So let's jump right into it. Here we go. So this is what I had on my chart before earnings. I sent this out multiple times. So if you guys follow me on Twitter, you should have seen this before. And I'm going to break it down for you guys right now. So I'll delete this now just to get it out of the way. But this was, call buying opportunity. And here's where we are today. So basically, I'm going to really zoom out for you guys and give you guys, a little bit of a bigger story in this GME saga. Try to clear things up for you guys. Let's get a lot of things out of the way. Let's move back to let's go 4-hour time frame. Okay. So, as you guys all know, the squeeze, as you guys call it, the sneeze, whatever it is, that started when price broke above the monthly trigger. And you guys could see what happened here. Let's move even further back. Let's go all the way back. All right, so the monthly trigger is obviously, the biggest deal in trading because it tells you who's in controls, if bulls are in control, or if bears are in control. And you guys could see here price above the monthly trigger, about this $3 range, moving really well to the upside. Cracks below the monthly trigger, and you guys could see some pretty nasty downside. You have an attempt to break above the monthly trigger here, fails, come back down, break above the monthly trigger, turn bullish for a bit. This is in terms of 2 years, guys. So don't think like, oh yeah, just bullish for a couple of minutes. This is 2 years' time. We turn bullish. And then comes this break below the monthly trigger. This happened in November 15th. You guys could see from this break at $9, once price was below the monthly trigger, it was kind of a brutal story all the way down here, all the way to the $1 range. And then the rest is history. Price broke above the monthly trigger, and we had a really strong reaction to the upside. Now, monthly trigger is basically the biggest battleground between bulls and bears. If bulls control the monthly trigger, like we saw here, we'll be able to pop price back up. And as long as price is above the monthly trigger, it's kind of in a bullish orientation, but below, kind of bearish. And you guys can see throughout this entire time, I remember, and I'm sure all you guys remember, GameStop was a lot more volatile here. We had these really nice rallies, beautiful rally here, beautiful rally here, beautiful rally here. And all of these were wonderful call buying opportunities because, as long as you got in on the way up and were able to sell before downside, you're able to make really nice trades on calls. And I remember that I used to do this, but, then came March, and here was pretty much like the final really nice opportunity. And now it's been over a year and April, May, June, a year and 3 months since this rally. And since then, we haven't really had anything. We had this, which was a nice move, but then flat for a month or two, and then one final pop. And once price broke below the monthly trigger, there just has not been great opportunity to play calls at all on GME. And this has been coming up on a year now. That price has just been sitting below the monthly trigger. And here we are today where, price on last earnings attempted to come up here and break through to turn bullish again. And here on this earnings, price attempted to break through and turn bullish again. And we had 2 failed attempts. So I'm going to give you all my thesis today as to why I believe price is about to break through this monthly trigger. And I'm not calling for any significant upside like this, but I do think that once price is able to move safely back above the monthly trigger, we're going to be able to make a really nice bull run for the next 3 months. Not talking about anything straight up, but I do think, something like this, obviously not drawn to scale for time, is certainly possible. So I'm going to explain to you why I think this macro flip is in the cards for us. Let's go back onto the 1 hour time frame. Let's bring back weekly, daily, and hourly triggers. So for those of you following me long enough, you know all about airplane setups. Airplane setups is where the hourly trigger comes down to the daily trigger. The green is the hourly trigger, the blue right here is the daily trigger, beneath that is the weekly trigger. Airplane setups are where the hourly trigger comes down, just about touches the daily trigger, price breaks through both of them, and erupts to the upside. If you want to see some examples of that, that's no problem. We had plenty of them back here. So you guys could see a really clean airplane setup right here, where the hourly trigger comes down to the daily trigger, price breaks through both of them, and erupts to the upside. I don't know if GME had too many of them. You have a nice one right here. Hourly trigger comes down to the daily trigger. Price moves to both. Reps to the upside. But those of you who have been following me long enough know all about this. We've seen it plenty of times all over the market. Leads to really strong moves. And GME is currently in one of those airplane setups. And we were looking for this to happen all before earnings, all the way back here. We were already, trying to forecast this move. And what can happen here pretty easily is that if we do see price break through this hourly trigger here, we can see a really quick move up to the monthly trigger, and we may come at it with so much force that we could finally break through. And I do think it's time to finally break through. I will show you guys, the monthly velo, which is down here. And the monthly velo basically tells you how strong are the sellers at the monthly trigger. So let's see how strong they are. If we go down and, put it into scale, you guys could see that, over here, really, really strong negative monthly velocity. There was obviously no chance of breaking through the monthly trigger here. And over here again, last earnings, there was also really strong negative monthly velocity, so there wasn't much chance of breaking through the monthly trigger. And all the way even here, at the end of June, still a little bit thick negative monthly velocity, and again, we had this big rejection, but look what's happening to the monthly velocity. All right, over the past since February, March, April, May, June, look what's happening to the monthly velocity. It's getting weaker and weaker and weaker, which means that the resistance at this monthly trigger is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And although they were able to stop it from getting above here, if price is able to complete this airplane setup and break above 23.14 at any point before the hourly trigger crosses down, obviously we don't want to see the hourly trigger cross below the daily trigger, but if price can break above it before it does, we should be able to make a move to the monthly trigger with enough power and strength to finally break through, especially because if you guys look at the negative monthly velo, it's not that strong anymore. It really isn't. And it's telling us that there's a weak spot right now. There's a weak spot right up here at the monthly trigger. If price can make a really fast, strong attack up here, we can get above. And so that's what I'm looking for going into next week. Now, you're probably asking yourselves, all right, but why does James think that price is going to complete this airplane as opposed to the hourly trigger crossing down and price moving back down to the 1950s? And I'm glad you guys asked. And for that, I'm going to move over to the GME report. So this is how we use a mixture of data-backed analysis, but also we use indicators to trade it live, and it goes to show how great the combination works. So if you guys aren't familiar with VOAX, currently I'm going to do a 1 minute explanation. Those of you who are familiar, you could just tune out the next 1 minute because it's probably annoying to hear these things a million times. But really quickly, there's 3 stages of this, all right? Anything above the upper black line is bullish, and that's called the inhibition zone. Anything between these 2 black lines is called the stability zone. That's usually, stable. So like you could see VOAX moving in the stability zone here, and price is just pretty stable. You could see VOAX exploding to the inhibition zone, and price gets a nice rally. And then the below here is the propagation zone. And when VOAX, which is this pink line, moves into the propagation zone, it means that like there's no support basically for the stock. Like basically the floor fell in is how I call it. Like once you see VOAX move below here, it just means like the floor fell in. If you guys want to see a way better example, let's bring in AMC just for a second, just to show you guys. So you can see what happened. VOAX here pretty much broke down below the into the propagation zone, and you could see very quickly AMC went from like $6 to $4 just from this thing. So this is basically like the floor, the support just falls out beneath price, and price moves down. So moving back to GME, you guys could see VOAX move into the propagation zone right here, and price continues to fall. Once VOAX rises and moves back into stability and moves into the inhibition zone right here, price gets a really nice climb while VOAX is in the inhibition zone the entire time. And then watch what happened here. This is super, super important. VOAX moved down, came to break the floor essentially, and to lead down price further. But right here, it was completely caught. VOAX got caught at the lower black line. So instead of pushing into the propagation zone like it did here, and price really, really, did not respond well to that. Price just got wrecked. And then over here, price moved into the VOAX moved into the propagation zone. Price, the blue line, again proceeded to fall. Only once VOAX moved back up did price rise. And then over here, you guys could see VOAX moved into the propagation zone and price fell. And over here, they were about to do it. VOAX almost fell into the propagation zone, but bounced at the very last second. And now it looks like we're going to continue higher. Looks like VOAX wants to bounce back up, and that should take price with it. So that's my first thesis. That's the first part of my thesis as to why I believe price is now on its way up, based on the data, based on VOAX, and why I believe we can see this airplane as soon as Monday morning. Going back to the GME report, let's look at some other things. So the snap graphs, still bearish, and the hedging heat map, what's very interesting here is that the influence distribution, which gives you the highest probability of where the stock will go over the next 5 days. You guys could see this peak. Wherever the peak is, that's the highest probability, and the second peak is the second highest probability, etc. The peak is up here in the blue, and price here is in a gamma squeeze orientation, meaning if price can move up, above this 23.75 level, price is going to be into purchasing support, and if price touches the blue, dealers have to hedge their positions, their portfolios, essentially by buying more shares. So think about it this way. If price moves up into 24, dealers have to buy more shares, leading price into thicker purchasing support where dealers have to buy even more shares, leading price to thicker purchasing support where dealers have to buy even more shares. It's just a continuous, gamma squeeze essentially. However, the flip side is if price moves down into the red, dealers will have to sell shares to hedge their portfolios, leading price down further, which goes into the thicker red. Dealers have to sell even more shares, continuously pushing down price. Now, right now, this is a big moment. We can either move up and start exploding even higher, or if we move down, price can significantly fall to the downside. But the influence distribution is telling us that the highest probability that the data sees right now is move to the upside to move into this blue purchasing support. So far, we have VOAX, which, had a really nice bounce. Now, this isn't a coincidence, If this was indeed bearish, VOAX more than likely would have moved down here into the propagation zone. The fact that it bounced is a very telling sign that we're more than likely on the way up. So too with the heat map, this is a little dangerous heat map. There's a lot of danger here because if price slips even a little bit, it can really start to slip. But the influence distribution right now is telling us that it thinks price is going to move into the blue. Now let's move down. This is not really so important, just IV and expected price range. And then we get to this is the big juicy part. All right, so I need everybody, if you haven't been paying so much attention, or even if you have, or if you really, really, really want to learn something right now, I'd very much encourage you guys to just pay attention to this right here. Just this, okay? For the next 5 minutes, just give me your full attention, and I promise you, you will all learn something that not only can help you make a lot of money with options, but to understand the stock market a lot better. So just give me the next 5 minutes of your attention. This table right here, calls, puts, what you're looking at, this is in the eyes of the dealer. Okay, so I'm going to explain it to you like it's between me and you. Whoever's listening, me and you. All right, let's say I'm the dealer and you are retail. So whether that means you're an actual retail participant in the market, or you're an investment fund, or you're a hedge fund, or you're an investment firm, you're an investment bank, no matter. Any large fund is considered retail, and me, I'm going to be considered the dealer. So I don't care if price moves up or down. I just care about getting the spread between the bid and the ask when you purchase or when you sell an option. So let's start from the very beginning. All right, 4 options that we all know is buying calls, buying puts, and selling puts. So let's start all the way from the left. And in the money and out the money are just the difference between the price of the option. So we're just going to focus on long short calls and long short puts. And then it's the same for in the money and out the money. So this will take literally 3 minutes left, guys. Just try to pay attention for 3 more minutes. All right. When you buy a call, all right, or when you sell a call, who are you buying and selling it to? All right. If you buy a call, I'm the dealer, I'm selling you the call. If you sell a call, I'm the dealer, I buy the call. I don't care where price goes after that, because I'm going to profit on the difference between the bid and the ask. I'm going to take a couple of pennies, and whichever way price goes, I'll hedge accordingly to make sure my position isn't in danger. So if you sell a covered call on GME, because you have shares, whatever, you sell covered calls, because I buy that call, I'm now long. So this tells me that the dealer is long an additional 4% of covered. There was an additional 4% of covered calls in the past day. There was 200% increase in covered calls in the past 5 days. Here, 1 day is the first box, 5-day change is the second box, and 10-day change is the third box. So on Friday, there was a 4% increase in sold covered calls. In the past 5 days, there was a 200% increase in sold covered calls. And in the past 10 days, overall, there was a 127% of increase in sold covered calls. Now, if you buy a call, who are you buying it from? The dealer, which means the dealer is now short the call. So this is bought calls. So in the past 10 days, there's a 16% increase in bought calls. In the past 5 days, there was a 27% increase. And on Friday, lots of people closed out their calls. It was June 9th. Maybe they had weeklies, maybe they were expiring, whatever, it doesn't matter. Here comes the juicy part. All right, now this is the most important thing most of you may ever learn about the stock market. And I mean this honestly because it was the most important thing that I learned about the stock market. Here is sold puts, right? Because if you sell a put, you sell it to me, the dealer, and now I'm long the put. When a dealer is long puts, it causes a hedging reaction in the market of me buying shares. Whenever loads of puts are sold, me, as a dealer, has to go to the market and start just buying shares to hedge the position without getting into it, because there's no need for that. I'm just going to tell you exactly how it works. So I quote tweeted Justin yesterday. Let's just take a look at this for 1 second. Right here. This is DLPs. This is dealer long puts, which is exactly what we're looking at here. Because you guys sell me the put, I'm the dealer, I'm long the put, so it's dealer long puts, okay? Now check this out. Whenever there's a large amount of sold puts in the market, look what happens to the market, okay? This picture, these spikes, these show whenever there was an increase in sold puts. Now you guys could see the change percentage of sold puts is going up. The gray is 1 day, the blue is 5 days, the yellow is 10 days, I think. Oh, it says it right here. 5-day change, 20-day change, 10-day change. Whenever there's a spike in sold puts in the market, the SPY or QQQ, they rise a lot. And we've been paying attention to this for a while. And we've been making nice money on calls when whenever we see sold puts enter the market on SPY or QQQ, Simply Options, in the Discord, we just buy calls because it's that simple. Whenever there's a huge increase in sold puts, because of the forces that it creates with forced hedging for the dealers just go into the market and they just start purchasing shares, which brings the market up. That's it. For any of you guys on Meme Stock Watch, we saw this in Microsoft on Thursday night, and I posted the trade. I said, there was a ton of sold puts on Microsoft. The next day, Friday morning, I woke up, 9:30, the market opened. I bought myself some 10, out the money, 0-day expiry, and within 18 minutes, they were up 300%. Because as soon as the market opened, the dealers that are flooded with all these short puts, they have to hedge by buying shares, which just brings price straight up, and it's so easy to take advantage of with calls. So why is this so important to all of us? I hope that wasn't too much for any of you guys to handle. If it was too much and you guys didn't understand that last 5 minutes, feel free to DM me. I'll try my best to explain it a little better. Hold on, there's a question that just came in. Can you clarify this long out the money puts? Okay, so I'm not going to get into the exact science and math, Junkyard Boy. But if any of you guys want to learn the exact science or math, feel free to DM me. I'll pick you in the right direction. But this isn't for science and math. This is for GME Bull Run Thesis. So I'm done with explaining the complicated part. Now you guys can relax a little bit more. Thank you for focusing with me for 5 minutes. But let's get into the juicy part now. When we see a huge increase in sold puts on GME, what that most likely means is that we are about to start a rally. It's worked like this always, on GME especially. Whenever there's a large amount of sold puts that come in on GME, boom, price goes up. When price was right here, there was about 1,000% increase in sold puts, and we got this entire rally. Because first, it starts off with, hedging by buying shares, and then price just keeps on rising, And it's incredible how it works, but essentially, whoever's selling these sold puts are doing it, it's kind of like on purpose. Like, that's their way, the big money's way of catching upside. So me and you, how do we catch upside? We buy calls. For whatever reason, big money, large money, when they want to catch upside, they just sell puts. Let's say they sell puts, they sell 1 million of them for $100 each. When price moves up and doesn't move down, their sold puts expire worthless. So they make money. I guess, whatever reason, that's how they do it. Because of these sold puts, I'm assuming that price is going to at least be able to break above and complete this airplane setup. So how that will work, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to draw it out exactly for all you guys. So this is going to be super easy and super simple. All right, I'm literally just going to draw it for you. So, all right, this is going to be totally off. All right, we're looking for something like this. We want the hourly trigger, and we want price to go like this. Okay, let's do price yellow. So this is it. This is essentially all we want. If you guys see this setup, if you guys see price move back above the hourly trigger, all right, the hourly trigger is airplaning off this daily trigger. And that's the setup. And once price moves above this this hourly trigger, now we do have some fib levels that we have to watch out for in the way. There are some fib levels, not going to get into all of them right now because I think we can break all of them. But I do expect, the dealer sold puts that we see here, I do expect this 755% increase to at least take price over the hourly trigger. And then once we're above here, it should be easy enough to get to this 26 level. And of course, once price finally breaks above this monthly trigger, that's when I believe we're going to see a huge rally. Right now we're targeting between 33 and 40. So just to show you how this looks from an Elliott wave perspective, 1806 is the invalidation for this move, but we're expecting price to move up like this to 37-ish, pull back, whatever, move up. just about 50, one final dip, and that's when we expect to start squeezing. So just about something like this. This is just the Discord for anyone confused. So essentially, that's my thesis. How I'm gonna play it exactly, I'll post updates in the Discord, and I'll post updates on memestockwatch.com every single day. Again, I can't give you guys all a timeline now in advance. I'm just telling you my thesis. The invalidation right here is 1806. Further invalidation would be if the hourly trigger crosses below the daily trigger. And if you guys have been following me, you know I never say, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. What I do is I lay out a thesis, and then I give a validation and an invalidation. If you guys see, price move above only 23.14, that's all we need. So price right now is 22.16. Price moves above 23.14, something like this. Pullback. Keeps going, Then I think this is very realistic. This is, kind of the price action that I would expect. Maybe another pullback. You guys are getting the point. Oh, didn't mean that last part. Okay, whatever. Kind of broke it now. This tool is a little complicated to use. Okay, you have to double click it. So ignore this part, but break above the hourly trigger, and then that's when I expect a large amount of upside. So basically, I can't tell you guys the options that I'm taking, the expiry that I'm taking. On memestockwatch.com, I'll give daily updates on where I think price is going. The only place where I'm going to go over my position like on a daily basis is going to be on the Simply Options Discord. But basically, for all you guys on memestockwatch.com, you guys you got this on Friday. This is what we're looking for now, invalid under 1806. So you guys will always have the rough picture, but you guys will always have the rough outline, but I can't get into specific positioning with you guys on here. I could only do that on the Discord. So in JRoll alerts, that's where I'll give like here you guys could see holy sold puts on GME today, get ready for next week. Yeah, I mean sold puts mean we go up. Like I'm confident enough in this to tell it to you guys straight. Like if we don't go up with sold puts, then you can basically say that a lot of my work is just false then, if price isn't able to move up with these sold puts, because sold puts for GME, every single time we see them come in en masse, it means there's some big fund or some big institution that knows price is rising, and this is how they want to take advantage of it by selling their sold puts. So, the only place I'll be able to go over my own position is going to be over there. But for you guys on memestockwatch.com, just, filter to all, filter to GME, and every single day you guys will have a video forecast, just making sure everything's going all right. If there's any updates that you guys need to know, or if I get out of my position, then I'll also post it here. But, and if any of you guys want to sign up, again, we made this very, very, very affordable. I think it's $20. You're getting a video, 5 to 10 minute video every single night, the entire month, for the price of a Netflix subscription. And these videos take a lot of work. Like you guys could see, even this live stream, how long have we been going? About 30 minutes. So whatever, I would love to do it for free, but fortunately can't do that. So that is my GME thesis. Now I'm pretty much done here. So I just want to talk about one last thing, which is LDPM. Let's move back to here. LDPM is fantastic, by the way, just so you guys know. And then after this live stream, I'm going to close the live stream and then do another one for AMC. Even though a lot of you guys may not like AMC, there's a lot of money to be made on it, so just keep that in mind. All right, so for LDPM, on the daily, on the daily time frame, not bullish yet, but what a final confirmation tenter calls, if you guys use LDPM, is watch for the daily LDPM to move below price. If you guys want to see how well this works, here's where LDPM moved above price. LDPM just measures, is there good liquidity or is there bad liquidity? By the way, right after this, I'm going to take any sort of questions. If you guys want to stick around, I'll answer whatever questions you guys want until you run out of questions. But LDPM, this purple line, measures good liquidity or bad liquidity. When there is bad liquidity, then price goes down. When there is good liquidity, price goes up. It's that simple. So when purple line is above price, that means there's bad liquidity. When purple line is below price, that means there's good liquidity. Right now, purple line is above price. We want to see this come below price, tell us that there's good liquidity, and that's when GME should run back to the monthly trigger at the 26 range. Anytime GME is going to run, daily LDPM will turn bullish beforehand. Here's where LDPM moves above price. Obviously, anytime LDPM moves above price, I sell covered calls, because if my investment is moving down anyway, I may as well sell covered calls that expire worthless, get some free money, and then buy back the shares and the calls, buy back my covered calls, and then turn that into new shares once LDPM turns bullish. Buy calls, ride it up, over and over. Also here you guys can see once liquidity goes bad, price really takes some damage. But when liquidity turns good, when the LDPM moves below price, price is able to rise to the upside. So for our final confirmation, we just want to see daily LDPM move below price. And of course, on Meme Stock Watch, I will give you that update. I just saw one question about the Discord. Very simply, if you want, very quick. Here's the plans. So whoever was just asking. Okay. So any of you guys have questions on anything about the presentation, I'll try to get to every single one. I have plenty of time. It's a Sunday afternoon, so I didn't read any questions up until now, but if you guys have them, you could totally ask them again. I'm going to sit here until, no one has any more questions. So that was basically the end of my presentation. We went over what we wanted to see based on the triggers, Just one final recap if anyone joined recently. We want to see a move above 23.14 before the hourly trigger crosses down beneath the daily trigger. And then that, I believe, once we move above 23.14, I think we should be able to get here very quickly. And then we spoke about how VOAX, instead of cracking down into the propagation zone, bounced, which is a nice bullish sign. We spoke about how the heat map is in a gamma squeeze orientation, that if price moves higher, the move should be exasperated even higher, as dealers, once price moves into the blue, dealers are forced to buy shares, which continues pushing price higher. However, if price starts to fall, dealers are going to have to sell shares, which is going to push price lower. So whichever way price moves from this direction, the move should be exasperated in either direction. But the influence distribution is telling us that the most likely scenario is that price goes up. And then the last thing we spoke about was the massive amount of sold calls, which we see that sold puts, which every time we see sold puts in the market, SPY rose 8%, SPY rallied 18%, SPY moved 14%, QQ moved 10%, QQ rose 14%. Sold puts are very bullish. So that was basically my presentation. And of course, the Gavin May, that's the AMD play. And of course, the Gavin May, this is what we think the wave count can look like. So with that, I'm opening to questions. All right, does price need to maintain over 23.14 for an hour? Great question. It doesn't necessarily need to maintain over for an hour, but this is what you want to see. That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. What you want to see is price and the 1 and 5 minute trigger cross above the hourly trigger. So these guys, you want to see them cross above. Now, once that happens, what I like to do is I take my position right here, and then if price moves back below the hourly trigger, I stop out. And I don't mess around with weeklies or monthlies. I'm going to take September calls when this happens. And let's say by the time the 1 and the 5 minute trigger crosses, price is up here, then I'm going to enter my position. And then if price moves back below the hourly trigger, then I'll stop out of my position. Maybe I'll lose 5%, 10%, nothing major. Is the indicator on TradingView available to use for Discord members? Yes. I purchased the MSM. If I wanted to upgrade to the Discord, do I get a discount? Of course. If you did purchase a meme stock, one of these guys, and you wanted to upgrade to the Discord, you just message me. I refund these plans completely. I refund and I cancel the plan, and then you guys could sign up for here. How does an IV crash happen and why? That's a great question. So IV is implied volatility, which tells the dealers selling the calls. If I'm selling you a $20 call and price is at 18, if there's a huge chance that price can make a volatile move above 20, I'm going to sell you the call for more expense. That price is going to just go from 18 to 20 if the stock doesn't have volatility, if there's not a lot of volume, if there's no reason for it to go above 20, then implied volatility will be lower, and therefore, as a dealer, I can sell you the call for even cheaper. So now, before earnings, since over earnings so much can happen, dealers are nervous and they charge more for calls because of the chances that their strikes could go in the money over earnings. If you want a deeper explanation, ask ChatGPT. Is VOAX data shared on Meme Stock Watch or Discord? VOAX data is shared on Meme Stock Watch. Yes, VOAX, gamma hedging heat maps, fib levels, option positioning insights. That's the sold puts, basically. That's the whole insights because those are so important. LE forecast, LDPM, daily updates via videos, text, and charts. That's everything that you guys get. And the Discord obviously comes with the premium plan. So even if you take the Discord, you still get access to all of these groups for your research. How does big money profit off sold puts? That's also an excellent question. If I sell you a $20 put right now, then you're betting that price will go below 20 and your put will be profitable. But if price continues to rise, then the $20 put becomes worthless, and that's how I profit from selling you a $20 put. How do you determine when to exit? Are you looking for changes in the same data? Does it usually happen slowly or rapidly? How often does this data come out, and how much do you need to be watching? Wow, great question, Taylor. So how do I determine when to exit is usually based on LDPM. I go down to like the 15-minute time frame, and when here, like for example here, I'll take a position when 15-minute LDPM turns bullish, and then, I mean, it's still bullish, but if LDPM at any point would go above price, like it did right here, and shoot above price, that's when I'd probably exit my position. If I'm in shorter dated stuff, then I'll go down to even the 5-minute move, and I'll stop out right here. And even if it continues going, I don't mind, because look at this beautiful profit. This is a 60-cent move with options. That could be a nice little scalp. But usually I'm swinging longer term positions, so I'll use like the 15-minute. How old are you? What firm do you work at? Do you still think there's a stock price correlation between bbby and GME? I'll tell you this much, I don't think there's a lot of correlation between GME and AMC anymore. I think that correlation has really dropped off. We're at like 0.24 right now, and used to be at 0.77, so I can't really give the answer to that. James Rudy says, do you think this could be tied to their yearly meeting on June 15th? I don't know. I just analyze the data, and that's it. Brian Rhodes says, will this and AMC vids be available later? Totally missed this one. Yeah, for sure. It'll be available as soon as I publish it, and then right after this one, I'm going to do a live stream for AMC, because AMC, guys, if it rallies this week, you heard it here first. I significantly believe that AMC is going to rally this week. And, my stop loss is going to be anything below 468. But I do plan on entering a big position here that you guys on memestockwatch.com, you guys get the AMC bundle for $20. So I'll be giving consistent updates on AMC this entire week. But just based off VOAX, I think AMC is going to make a really nice move in the coming weeks, but even this week possibly. And I'm going to stop out if price moves back above 468. And I probably won't be able to lose more than 10% of my position because I have a tight invalidation level. You guys can see LDPM on the daily right here is bullish. It moved below price, right? And when that happens, price moves higher, just like it did here. Once LDPM moves below price, that's basically the go sign. So sometimes it's a little sticky to start, especially when price just got hammered. But once it starts separating from the daily LDPM, probably going to move a lot higher. But the AMC video is going to be next. I don't want to get into it right now. LDPM is I give updates about LDPM, but if you want the actual indicator, it's not mine. It's Justin's. So Justin from Deep Dive Stocks, same guy that did all of this, also made the LDPM indicator. You got to ask him for it. All right, anything else? No, the Discord membership is $150, but the premium plan gives you, daily forecasts and updates on SPY, QQQ, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, Google, GME, AMC, and bbby, and the occasional bonus play. When will the AMC vid be out? I'm gonna start the AMC live stream at 1 p.m. I need a little bit of a break. Oh, someone wants to explain the airplane move again. Oh yeah, you'll see it after. You'll see it after. All right. If anyone did want to upgrade their plan, just DM me on Twitter. LDPM is a paid indicator. It's like $35 a month. But if you're on Meme Stock Watch, you get 20% off. I was able to work that out for you guys from Justin. It's not free though. It is a very good indicator. Did I miss any questions? If I missed your question, just write it again and I'll answer it. All right. So I think will you update on memestockwatch.com when you take a position for GME and AMC? Of course. Of course. Whenever I take a personal position in any of these stocks, and we swung Tesla from 154 to 250. So if Meme Stock Watch was available back then, you know, every single one of our members would have made a ridiculous amount of money. But we do have a new swing coming in the tech world. We do have a very, very exciting swing coming. Hopefully it'll be as big as Tesla, $100 move in a couple of months. So that will be updated. But yeah, if I ever take a position on these guys, it's not often, because not often do I see a move worth playing forming on any of these. But when they do, I will definitely give alerts. But I won't be giving like consistent alerts. Like on the Discord over here on JRO alerts, like it's like every second, like with Microsoft, like this is where like the live trading happens, I would say. Yeah, definitely where the live trading happens. This was Microsoft. That was amazing. Yeah. So if you guys want like super live and fast updates, the only place you can find that is the Discord. But I'll give like, you know, daily updates on my positions on Meme Stock Watch. Can you add PLTR or BB? Down the line, we are going to we're going to add a lot of stocks, and anybody that joins now will get every single additional stock in the future for free. So soon we're going to add like another plan for like more stocks. Anyone that's signed up before that happens will get everything. Meaning this is just the founding members. Like the price that you see here, this is the founding members, and we're going to add so many more things to the site over time. Anybody in now will get every single thing that ever is added onto the site for free. So that's something really cool that we're offering to the founding members. Someone wants to know how many of you guys work together on the Discord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's about 11 of us working on the Discord. Maybe even a little bit more. Now again, FOMC and everything, that starts Wednesday. Things might get a lot more risky then. I'm hoping that, you know, the majority of the move happens Monday and Tuesday so that I could take my profits and hedge appropriately for FOMC and all the crazy stuff that's happening this week, all the macroeconomic data. How do market events like COVID invalidate your thesis? Does the data change happen in an instant? Usually it won't happen in an instant. If there's going to be some big news that's going to come out, we're going to see it the night before in the options positioning, always. So nothing in the news really takes us by surprise. But I will say that the invalidation for the GME move is 1806. So I would not mess around with short-term contracts here at all. Not a chance. I would not mess around with anything short-term. Me personally, I'm going September calls. So if price does break below 1806 and the thesis is invalid, I'm not going to lose my pants. I'm going to lose a small amount. But if you take weeklies and price moves below 1806, then you could lose your pants. That's why I'm not messing around with anything short-dated here, because I'm not trying to catch it. For the past 6 months, all right, whenever price was below the monthly trigger, all I was trying to catch was a quick little pop. I'm not trying to catch a quick little pop anymore. I'm trying to hold these calls for a long time because I think we're about to go on a bull run. Like, you know, a bull run. Not just a quick move, you take 100% on your options and you get out. I think we're really, really, really about to go, guys. Like, I think it's finally time. Now, again, this that part of what I just said will be validated once price breaks above the monthly trigger. I mean, here, for anyone that doesn't believe me, all right, for any of you guys that don't believe me, let me show you some stuff real quick. All right, what do you want to look at first? Let's look at Tesla first. All right. By the way, this is where Gavin alerted the trade on Twitter, so no one could say that I made it up. As long as 151.71 is not broken, I'm targeting anywhere from 224 to 268. This was when price was at 158, and now price is at 244, so smack in the middle of his targets. But deleting this, actually I'll move it away, I want to save that forever. Look what happens once price broke above the monthly trigger for Tesla. So Tesla broke above the monthly trigger. It took a while, but it finally did at about 218. And as soon as the hourly trigger crossed, Tesla erupted to the upside all the way to 250. So, you know, monthly trigger, very strong acceleration level. Once price moves past it, it could really get going. There was another great example that happened very recently with MVIS. So you guys could see here, that look what happened when price broke above the monthly trigger, and then the hourly trigger crossed above. Price went from $4.72 to $8.19. So this is another huge move that happened. You know, you want to talk about Meta breaking above its monthly trigger right here at 206 and erupted towards 276. You know, whatever you guys want to talk about, like, I'm here for it. Like, this is gonna work on anything that you look at. So let's go over a couple more. What do you want to look at? Microsoft? We could do Microsoft. Let's see. Microsoft finally broke above its monthly trigger at like 250, and now it reached a high of 338. Let's look at, I don't know what else. Netflix you want to look at? Netflix rejected its monthly trigger here, but finally broke above at 362 and moved up to 425 very quickly. You guys could see what happens once the hourly trigger crosses, just pure acceleration to the upside. You want to look at Apple. Apple's been above its monthly trigger for a very long time already, so not a great example here. Google just broke above its monthly trigger. You know, finally got the hourly trigger to cross above 107, exploded towards 130. Amazon, this is actually, okay. This is a play I'm targeting right now because Amazon's breaking above its monthly trigger. But whatever, I mean, NVIDIA, you can see NVIDIA breaking above its monthly trigger here, and look what happened, 171 to 412. All right, that's it. That's basically it for me. So let's go back. Let's see if there's any questions. Do you post opening call positions on basic? Where's the link to sign up for the basic plan? It's very simple. Just memestockwatch.com. That's the whole website. It's a very simple website. It's just, you know, you could pick whichever stocks you want to see. Meme stocks, tech stocks, ETFs. You just get a forecast. I mean, only the meme stocks get videos, but I mean, QQQ, we had a huge trade here that worked out very well, so I'll give a trade recap. Leave comments here if you want, and I could answer them. You know, we called this whole QQQ, we called this whole QQQ rally very, very, very nicely. If you guys want to see it live. Yeah, so first QQQ trade with you guys. Make sure to read Gavin's post for this one. I'm looking to go long QQQ with 2-3 weeks on my time. So that was when price is at 348. I said that. If you guys took the trade I posted last night, these are the levels to the upside to watch out for rejection. This is when price was at 350. Guys, please tell me you all hit this trade out of the park. This was when price was 352. But if we look at QQQ, moved up all the way to 357. And, you know, we gave the report from 347. You know, I'll cut them if 347 is lost. But, like, so, yeah, you'll get trade ideas, but you can't expect me to, like, every second post updates on the trade. You know, I even said the night before, I would not be looking to trade this bearishly tomorrow. Whatever, just the live trading, if you want the really, really, really live trading, that's only in the Discord. But if you want good updates and you could trade on your own decently enough, then you will tell you every single day pretty much if QQQ, if SPY, if any of them are going to make a big move, we'll almost always know it beforehand. So that's the perks of having access to phenomenal data. What can I say? Okay, so I think I'm going to close the stream here. Thank you guys so much for joining. I really hope this was informative and you're able to learn a little bit more about our ever-changing and growing and complicated market. With that, if any of you guys have any questions in the future, always feel free to DM me. I feel like I respond very quickly. I love interacting with you guys, hearing your thoughts, talking to you guys. So never feel shy or scared to DM me. I talk with like literally 50 to 100 of you guys on a daily basis, and I like it. So either way, have a great rest of your day. In 8 minutes, I'm going to open up the AMC video.